Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video and another race in the AOR League here today as we arrive at the Mexican Grand Prix. Now, really quickly guys, I'm going to get the plug out of the way. If you missed the previous race at USA, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. And also, if you're new to the channel, then feel free to hit the like button and subscribe for more league racing content. I've got a lot more stuff coming your way very soon. But anyway, today we could win the World Drivers' Championship, and that would be my first ever title in league racing, period. Now, before we talk about that, let's talk about the championship permutations. Now, the gap between myself and Paris is 68 points. There's currently 75 points plus 3 fastest laps up for grabs, which means there's 78 points on the table in the remaining 3 races, including the one here today. So, in a nutshell, we have to score 11 points here today to win the championship, regardless of whatever Paris does. And then if Paris does not get the gap within 50 points, let's say I finish, P12, if Paris doesn't score at least 18 points here today, then I automatically win the championship. So, unless it's an absolute disaster, and we finish P15, outside the points, and Paris finishes second or higher, then we can win the championship here today. So hopefully that made sense. So again, just to go over it one more time, if Paris wins the race, I need to score 11 points. If Paris does not win the race, then it's pretty much GG. If I finish in the top 3, it's game over. So yeah, it's going to be pretty straightforward. Obviously, if Paris doesn't win, it's going to make it a lot easier for me. But we're looking forward to this. I don't know. As long as I score 11 points, that's the target. That's what I'm going for. And, that's going to be finishing at least P4 in this race, or P5 with a fastest lap. That's what I need to aim for. So we're currently in qualifying, and this is my first qualifying lap of the session. And to be fair, it was a pretty decent lap to get a good banker on the board as we set at 112.9. And that is a good lap, actually. Straight into the 112s. That is not bad pace at all. We then move on to my second time lap here, and we're going to try and improve. Unfortunately, you can see I'm about half a tenth down here, and I get held as well by Hittinen as he moves out of the way in a bit of an awkward spot there, as I normally like to use a lot of the curb on the left to turn in, and I just wasn't really able to optimize, and it kind of messed up my run through here. So yeah, I got a little bit flustered and I wasn't really able to improve, so I actually decided to abandon the lap and just give up on that altogether. So we're going to box, strap on a fresh set of tires and go one more time. This time you can see we are up in the middle sector with a purple sector 2, and we're finding time everywhere here, but then unfortunately I just cut that right hander of the stadium section there and pick up an invalidation. So a bit of a shame, because it was looking pretty decent, and we're now currently P5. So others have improved around us and we've got it all to do here. So big pressure on this lap. So let's run on board for a full lap of Mexico as we start off the lap out the final corner, trying to take a nice wide line to really maximize your main straight speed, basically, for the speed trap. Down towards turn 1, you want to brake at the 50-meter ball ideally. 5th gear down to 4th eventually. Try and get the nose turned in, and then really be aggressive over these curbs here. I decided to go in 4th gear, and we get a really nice exit as well for good measure. So happy days so far. Down towards turn 4 and 5, little left-right chicane combination here. Hard on the brakes, 3rd gear. Kind of sacrifice the left to really open up the right here and really try and get that traction down on the short run down towards turn 5 and 6. This kind of double apex right. We then make our way to the S section, and this is where it's very important to get the momentum and nail the lap, and we do exactly that, hitting all those curbs absolutely perfectly, flat out through there, keeping the throttle absolutely pinned, and we're 2 tenths up in the middle sector, and this looks like a flyer. Hard on the brakes for this 90 degree right before the baseball stadium. We find another half a tenth. Now into the hairpin, tucking the nose in 1st gear, quickly over those curbs, and then the final corner in 2nd gear, trying to get that rotation in 2nd gear, and we're going to floor it out the final corner, keep the car nice and tight to the right, and we go P1, and it's a big lap there with the 112.7, and a really, really good lap under pressure, delivering when it matters, and once again, another pole position for us in this league, which is fantastic. So a really strong lap. We out-qualify Thaler, Warren and Paris qualifies P4. So if the race finishes like this, of course it's GG, we win the championship and it's game over. So I will happily take this for the race. Worth noting as well that my teammate Florian Napik is in P7. Both Red Bulls 3 and 4, the constructors title is still up for grabs, and that's a tight battle. So both Red Bulls splitting myself and my teammate. It's going to be a feisty one. And also worth noting for the race, we have some rain, so let's see how it goes. Qualifying is done. We're now going to move into the race and what could potentially be a championship winning race for me. Well, this is it, guys. I will say this. Strap yourselves in. It's going to be one crazy race. I can promise you that for a fact. Here we go then. P1 on the grid. We've got that absolutely colossal run down to turn 1, which is so far away. And it's very unlikely we hold the lead unless we get an absolutely perfect start. The 5 lights are on though. Let's see as the lights go out. It's a pretty decent start from us off the line actually. Failer gets away pretty well as well. And it actually worked out okay for me. We're going to form a bit of a too wide of roadblock down towards turn 1. And that's going to really help us out, as you can see Warren not really able to find anywhere past. Down towards turn 1, we go around the outside and we hold on and cement the P1 as we get ahead of Failer. And crucially, get a nice exit as well out of turn 3. And somehow we've actually survived quite comfortably after that race start. And, you know, I was really worried about the run down towards turn 1, but we got away well and we survived beautifully. So with P1, we've done the hard bit and now it's all about race control. 36 laps ahead of us. We need to manage it, make sure everything is on point. Track limits around here, very easy to exploit and pick up a penalty. So I'm going to try my best to keep it very clean because, you know, you can win or lose races with a 3-second time penalty. But we now move on to lap number 2. You can see here, I was actually flying. The gap to Failer nearly 1 second, but I make a bit of a mistake into turn 4. And I run it in a bit too hot on the brakes and I threw away a bit of lap time. I still kept my head down, you know, trying to push at the end of lap 5. Now you can see the gap to Failer is almost 1 second. It's kind of, you know, touch and go in regards to whether Failer got DRS or not at the detection point. But it looks like he has managed to just about get DRS because you can see he's closing me up on the straight here. So unfortunately, my first attempt at trying to break DRS hasn't really worked out. We tried it again on lap 6. Again, I got a bit of a nice gap actually, you know, 9.5 tenths, nearly a full second at one point. But then again, Failer uses the DRS to get the gap down by a couple of tenths into the first corner. But it's worth noting, we're looking pretty good. Florian Napik, my teammate, has got himself up into P5, which is massive after starting P7. And, you know, Failer's got the fastest lap as well, which is really important in terms of that extra point. On lap 8, though, this was the key phase of the race. So it's getting cloudy. The rain is 5 minutes away. I'm going to roll the dice here. I'm not going to stay out because I don't think I can make it on the softs to the intermediates. So we're going to pit, cover off any potential undercuts, and we're going to box for the soft tyres once again. And we're going to go for another quick stint on these tyres because I feel like if we stay out, we're going to hit the cliff and it's not going to be good. So I'd rather play it safe, be on the right tyres at the right time. That's a nice bit of advice, you know, that I learned from my time in league racing and also from real life F1 as well. You know, when you watch the sport, they always say right tyres, right time. And you can see Florian actually, he boxed the lap before. So we're both on the same strategy here, you know, going for that second stop on the softs, that second run. And we now need to get through the traffic because we need to use these tyres and fight our way back up. So you can see here, purple sector 2, we're going to absolutely just shoot one up the inside and send it on ZNLP into the stadium hairpin and move up to P12. Up next, we have Brownie in the Renault, and we're going to try and get past him as well as he is also on the hard tyres. Meanwhile, Paris in the pits for Red Bull, worth noting. So he's got a couple of laps more than us. 1 more lap than me, 2 more laps more than my teammate Florian Napik as we get past Brownie on the pit straight and move into the top 10. And also worth noting, as you can hear in the background, both myself and also Florian has managed to undercut Paris. So right now we are in a net 1-2 as a team, which is fantastic. We set up a new fastest lap on lap 11 and we've now got Warren in the pits in the second Red Bull. So he's got a couple of time penalties to his name. So right now, we are looking very solid. We've now made our way up to P9. We're behind Hittinen. Jan Failer is in the pits now. So I believe he was the last one to pit. So we are now back into what would be a net race lead. The question is now, when is the rain going to arrive? Meanwhile, you can see here, Zoran and Hittinen battling away, the pair of them. I'm going to try and set them up for the double as we make our way through 1, 2, and 3. We're going to get a lovely exit here. We're going to pull to the right-hand side, use the traction of the fresh tyres, and then the overtake and rich mix that we have, and make a nice double overtake. And we're going to swoop around the outside of 4 and get that move wrapped up as we move up into P6. Up next, we have Duza on the mediums in the McLaren, and we're going to try and hopefully get past him very soon. We've also got Scrippy in the Mercedes staying out. Christian Sendel, he's had enough of those soft tyres after 13 laps. He's going to pit. So you can see some people who are trying to stay out long, waiting for the rain, but it's not arrived yet. And, you know, these soft tyres don't go much more. So you can see we get past Duza, you know, 13 laps on mediums. That's pretty considerable as well. The rain's falling, but it's not falling enough. You know, it's still super, super dry, and it's nowhere near intermediates. It's falling down at a very slow rate. You can see now, this is an example of staying out. So Scrippy has hit the cliff, and you'll see now through this section the grip difference that I have on these tyres. And to be fair, I've been on these tyres for about 5-6 laps now, but just the pure outright grip difference. Scrippy was well aware. He didn't even want to fight me, and he lets me go. He moves out of the way, and that's going to be nice and easy for me as we get back up to P3. Up next is Kryzik's lap 14. He's still staying out on those soft tyres that he started on, and he has really, really badly hit the cliff. You'll see here, he has zero grip as we just move so easily around him and just have so much more traction, and we walk past and move up to P2. And we're now behind Kalachu, who has started on the hard tyres, so good strategy from him. He's got a 3-second time penalty, but again, I've got the tyre advantage, you know, on these, and I've got a lot more pace. Lap 15, we're going to try and put some pressure on and try and get by, because once we get him, we're back into the race lead, and we're in a good position here. So here we are, final corner. Going to make sure we try and get that traction down. We've got quite a bit of ERS and also some rich mix to use as well. We're going to try and save it though for the second half of the straight. You can see Kalachu's lights flashing, which means he's got less than 10% ERS. So now we're going to use ours, what we've got left, to get the move done. And there we go, back up to P1. We've done it. The recovery is done. A really aggressive strategy, but it works out. My teammate Florian is in P3, so it's looking very good for us in this race. Although, to be fair, Florian is coming under pressure from Paris and soon to be Warren as well. So yeah, at the minute, this is looking great. But now, again, it kind of flips on its head again. So we are desperate and we are waiting for the rain. We need those intermediates. And Florian, he was going to hit the cliff. So he actually pits at the end of lap 16. He's taken a risk, you know, for the team. He felt like it was time, but unfortunately it wasn't time. You can see now we're on lap 18, and now I'm going to pit for the intermediates. And even I've gone a bit early, but I can't make my tyres last any longer. So we're going to pit. We're going to go for the inters, but Florian made a wrong call. Pitting lap 16 was way too early. Worth noting, Kalachu pits with me, but both Red Bulls and Failer stay out. So a bit of a split strategy here. We're going to box. We're going to strap on the inters. The track isn't fully there just yet, but it's really not far away. It's right on the crossover. So hopefully it will go away very soon. We're going to rejoin behind Brownie, and we are still ahead of Kalachu. So back up to speed as we rejoin the racetrack. Nice bit of clean track ahead of us. And now it's all about tyre management. So essentially, we need to make sure we are very smooth, do not slide, do not drift, and do not overheat the tyres, because we are still in dry tyre territory, but it won't be for much longer. So we need to just hold on for as long as we can. And at the end of lap 19, just, you know, literally one more lap I could have stayed out, I would have been perfect. Most of the guys ahead of us are going to pit because the track just started to really turn towards the intermediates. You can see now we are starting to gain on Brownie through most corners here, and we're starting to put the pressure on. So in the pit lane on this lap, I believe we have Failer, or maybe, actually no one's in the pit lane, so fair enough. Everyone's staying out for one more lap, so it looks like people still feel comfortable staying out. Meanwhile, Kalachu here is going to try and get past us here. I don't really have the ERS to defend or the fuel, and I'm a bit of a sitting duck. Luckily, a good defensive into 1. I've got about enough momentum, so we go around the outside of 2 and then hold it through 3, but we're not out of the woods yet. Kalachu right on my gearbox here, down towards turn 4, but we've got just about enough momentum on the exit to stay ahead and hold on to P6 for now. But this is unnecessary for me because it's going to cost me time. You know, these tyres aren't the best, and battling's going to hurt me even more. But you can see now at the end of lap 20, we was much quicker. You know, this was the lap where it really, really turned. And you can see we've got Failure on the inters, Brownie on the inters, but crucially, both Red Bulls stay out on the soft tyres for another lap. And even though it didn't work in their favour because the tyre offset was better for the intermediates, there was a key strategy element here, which was tyre wear. So those, you know, let's say 4 laps I've done on the intermediates compared to Paris, who's leaving the pit exit right now, that's going to be a big difference. Those 4 laps of tyre wear, especially because I was driving on a dry track, we're going to have like 20% more tyre wear, and that could be critical because I'm trying to get my tyres to the end of the race. Paris will easily be able to get his tyres to the end. I'm not so sure, as DRS is now disabled. Kalachu gets ahead of us as well in the meantime, and I hit a bit of a bad phase here. I've got to be honest, I was in a bit of a rut. So lap 24, my tyre was starting to kick in, and I didn't have any pace. You can see I'm on 36% on the left rear. which is a lot. You know, I've got a lot more tyre wear. Bearing in mind Paris, you know, pit 2 laps ago, I'm in big trouble here because he's going to have fresher tyres, more pace, and I'm at a bit of an offset with strategy. Now, I was starting to think, I was starting to plan my strategy out, and I was weighing up my options, and I realised I was not going to make it to the end of the race. It was not possible. I had too much tyre wear as we pick up a first warning for track limits, and I was not going to make it. I was doing about 6-7% tyre wear per lap, so we had 10 laps to go. That's, you know, 60-70%. It wasn't going to happen, so I had to pit, and I'm going to decide to do that on lap 27. So Kalachu has the exact same issue as me. He managed to pull out a 2-second gap, in fairness to him, so his pace was really good on those intermediates, and he dropped me. But here we go then. It's full steam ahead for the championship. Paris is in the race lead. He's going to the end of the race. We are currently P5, so we do have the fastest lap. So as things stand right now, if we got P5, that would be enough. We're currently P6. That is not enough. So we need to at least gain 1 position to be world champion. Paris is the race, so we've already got the fastest lap. We just need that 5th place. So right now, on these fresh intermediates, I was so much quicker than Kalachu. I don't know what it was compared to the previous stint, but now with these fresh inters, I had a lot more pace, and I was able to catch him up, you know, gain those 2 seconds back, get onto his gearbox, and we're now catching up to Warren as well as we get a virtual safety car. Somebody retired. I believe that was Daigoro in the AlphaTauri. But this isn't too bad, actually. This is going to give us a chance to save a little bit of fuel, a little bit of VRS, you know, just a little bit, just to help us make some overtakes. But right now, this is clutch time. You know, 6 laps to go. We need to get past Kalachu here. So this is it. This is a big, big moment of the race, and I knew what was going to happen. I knew Paris was going to win the race. He was much further ahead. He had the freshest intermediates out of those who pit the first time round. So we're waiting for this VSC restart, and I'm hoping I can use it to my advantage. There we go. So here we go. The safety car, or the VSC, is going to end, sorry. And we're going to try and get straight back on the pace and try and make some moves here. We actually timed the VSC perfectly. To be fair, Warren pulls away a little bit in the Red Bull, but straight away we're going to get to work here and try and get past Kalachu. We cut onto lap 31, the next lap here, and both myself and Kalachu all over the back of Warren, who is now starting to struggle on his old intermediates. And then out of nowhere here, I'm going to try a bit of a move around the outside. Doesn't quite work, you know, but I'm having a bit of a look. I thought, you know what, I might be able to get something here. It did seem like Kalachu was a bit safe and a bit cautious and not really wanting to make the overtake, and I downloaded that information, I took it on board, and I realised, okay, I know he's going to be a bit cautious and he won't go for nothing too rash. So this time around, instead of the outside line, I am going to try the inside, and I'm going to absolutely launch one down the inside on the brakes here in these conditions, and we make a nice, clean, easy move stick, and no issues there. Nice and tidy, and we're now going to get our first crack at getting past Warren in the Red Bull, and I fancy my chances. We've got a nice bit of fuel, we've got a nice bit of ERS. You can see here Warren going defensive already. We're going to try and challenge him on the run down towards turn 1. I don't really want to use all of my energy if possible here, so we're going to try and save a little bit back in case we need it for a second phase, as you can see now. And into turn 1, I'm going to try around the outside, use the fresher tyres, get the inside line for turn 2. We get a little bit of a squeeze there. I have to back out to avoid getting wing damage. Dylan parks his car perfectly on the exit, but then out of there we just get such good traction. We use the rest of the ERS. We're going to go to the outside, and we are going to absolutely send one on the brakes into turn 4. Warren tries to push me wide and match me in the brakes. It's all very, very close, but we make the move. We pick up the inside line, and there we go. GG, P4, and that is a crucial double overtake on Kalachu and Warren that will give us a world championship if we finish here right now. But I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I'm not leaving, as they say in the Wolf of Wall Street. It's lap 35. These tyres on Norbert Jakob and Feder are really wearing out now because they pit on the first round of stops, and I've got a big tyre advantage. These guys are hitting the cliff, so as you can see, we are going to go to the outside into the hairpin. It's an absolute belter, and we make the move stick for P3. We're going to get the inside line for the final corner, and it's job done. We get past Norbert Jakob, aka Pablo Futes, and we're now P3. And we're going on to the last lap of the race here. Jan Feder has hit the cliff big time on his tyres. We are so much quicker, and best believe we are going to absolutely send the move on here, because why not? We may as well finish as high as possible. Paris, will win the race. He did have 6 seconds worth of time penalties, which I was hoping to catch up, but here we go. Around the outside of Failure. It's a bit close though with Argy Bargy. The confetti goes up. Paris will win the race on track as we go down the inside of Failure into the hairpin, but we recover to P2 with the fastest lap. And with that, it's official. For the first time ever, I am a world champion in league racing, and I am the new AOR F1 PC world champion. It's a big result, and yet another podium for us in this league. The consistency has been incredible, and that's what's won me the championship. I wasn't maybe the quickest driver, but the consistency was there. I've scored podiums in every single race except for 3 races, I believe, so that's what you get. But anyway, looking at the final race results, Paris picks up the W. We get 2nd place ahead of Failure, Collard Choupi 4 ahead of Brownie, and then Norbert Jakob in the end P6. Bogan P7 ahead of Zoran, Hittinen, and my teammate Florian finishes P10 and picks up a single point. Missing out on the points, we have Kryzix, Duza, Warren, ZNLP, Christian Sendel, Scrippy, Daigoro, BenQ, and overall we do pick up the fastest lap. So a really good race for us. We then look at the driver standings, and it's official. With 2 races to go, the gap is over 50 points, so it's mathematically impossible for Paris to win the championship. So job done. We are world champion with 2 races to spare, and I'm really happy about it. I can't believe I did it. You know, I did not expect this at the very start of the season. Admittedly, there were some driver transfers, a lot of things happened, but you know, we stuck through it all. We got there in the end, and we get the well-deserved championship. We then look at the constructors heading into the final 2 races, and that's still up for grabs. The gap is 12 points between ourselves and Red Bull, so there's a lot to play for there. And then finally we move into the podium, and with this podium sequence actually, it was a nice celebration. Not just that, because I was just celebrating the championship. You know, a bunch of people on Twitch were subscribing, and I want to give a quick shout out, guys, to those of you that did subscribe on that night on Twitch, because right now I'm going to play the reaction, guys, to all those subs that I got, because I was so thankful, and I still am really thankful for it, and I'm really thankful for the Twitch community that I have over on that platform. So enjoy the podium and enjoy the reactions, guys. Oh my god. 25 gifted. Are you crazy, Lady Blackheart? Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh my god.
Oh, I have a bit more to do.
Oh my god.
I have a bit more to do.
Oh, oh my goodness me. Oh my god.